a second here. I had to reboot my laptop and just trying to get situated. There's lots of birthday cards to show, and I got a bunch today. When we went out, we stopped at the post office, and so yeah, I gotta open them. Froggy's card is in here, and so is Terry's. So let me kind of move things out of the way, get my laptop going so I can see everybody's comments. I had everything open and I was trying to open up the Word document that has that whole verbiage that I pin at the top of the chat box, and it just didn't want to open. So let me now set everything back up again. Let's see. We got that. And let's see. Wheel of Names and YouTube and live. Let's click on there and let me get what I need to copy and paste. There we go. And that's there. Copy. And where's my comments? There it is. See? And hit enter, and let's pin this to the top. You know, Froggy, I didn't realize until after I finished that live last Saturday night. Yeah, I realized that what on earth? What is going on with my phone? All I'm seeing is the pinned comment is just constantly flashing on my screen of my phone. I don't know what this thing is doing. It's doing weird things. Hold on. Yeah, I meant to wish you a happy early birthday and didn't realize until after I had stopped the stream. I'm like, oops, I didn't even wish her a happy early birthday. But thank you. Let's see. Let me put it on live chat so I can see everybody's comments. All right. Let's see what we got here. So Terry's here and Froggy. Oh, and by the way, from the past 2 Saturdays, those cards that that y'all had won, they went out in today's mail. Yesterday was actually the first time I got in my car and physically left this property to go anywhere. And it basically, I probably wouldn't have gone anywhere because the temperature, it was going to creep up, you know, to above freezing. However, yeah, I had a 10:40 a.m. appointment to renew my driver's license that had expired on the 2nd of February. So yeah, I needed to get that done and I couldn't put that off. So that was the first time I had gone out. And so today the temperature went up to like about 62. So literally we're not wearing coats when we went out. We did go someplace fun. We did go to Hobby Lobby, and I got some Valentine's stuff, a little bit of St. Patrick's Day stuff. I already had this. I bought this a couple weeks ago, but I do have my Valentine thing. I'm going to, even though I'm doing Valentine's projects now, actually, oh, what the heck? Let's just, you know, I was actually looking for a birthday one, but couldn't find it. And so Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Gotta snip it. Pull that out. And let's turn this on. Turn it on. And we'll do this. There we go. I don't know how well you could see it, but yeah. I think my thing is like shrinking. So there we go. We got the blinky hearts. And yes, I did color my hair. I trimmed my hair and put makeup on for figuring that, okay, they're going to take a new picture. The picture came out like garbage. The whole double chin thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm stuck with this license for like 8 years. I just won't look at the picture of myself. Okay. And then today I found one for St. Patrick's Day too. So, but yeah, I'm just kind of like tidying up because things are like all over the place up here. Um, the last project I got done this morning. And yeah, I'm running on very little sleep because I didn't go to bed till almost 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, let me kind of pull these out. So there's a few cards I do need to open up. Most of them I did. And I think I have everything here. Ow. And I don't know what I did to my finger, but it's a little bit swollen and it hurts. And ow, yeah. All right, let me move this. And let's get that out of the way. Let's get the pen out of the way. We'll get that out of the way. And okay, so let's see. Let's see what we got here. I feel like I'm all over the place. Hey, Carol, and Tracy. Yes, your card is in this pile too, Tracy. Yeah, we got done. There was actually like more than one stop we were going to make today, and then tomorrow morning we're gonna go back out again to go to the other places that we didn't go to. Our plan is to go to Sam's Club for a couple of things, and then the Costco and even Walmart because I gotta buy some Halloween candy. One of the things that I do, I don't know if you've seen I posted pictures of it before, and I may have mentioned it last year, but since I've lived here in 2012, well, actually, let's put it at 2013. I've been creating like just the little treat bags and putting like a little handmade card in there, and then some, not Halloween, cheer, Valentine candy in it, just little treat bags that go to, now it's going to 3 different places. It's going to a shelter for women and their kids. It's going to like a teen children's home, um, and then youth villages, which is another kind of like teen type place. So yeah, I need to get the candy for that. I need to make the cards. I need to package them all up for Sunday because Sunday's the last day to drop them off. Oh, Inika, you got the card. Good. I'm glad to hear that when the cards get to their destination, and as long as they're also in good condition and not destroyed, then that makes me even happier. I see Becky and Sharon and Deborah. Yeah, so the cards, yeah, all those cards from the past 2 Saturdays, they did go out. Froggy, your birthday card I am making tonight. One of the things too that I couldn't get yet, I had a UPS order from Stampin' Up that went to the UPS store, and it took like 10 days to get here. And so it was delivered at the UPS store on Monday. So I was able to pick it up yesterday. So there's a bundle in there that I know that when I saw it's like Froggy's card needs to be made with that bundle. So that's one of the plans tonight. So then I can get that out in the mail tomorrow along with any of the cards for tonight. And again, Deborah, when you sent that message last Saturday night, I had already taken care of the cards, but I did respond to your email. And so, yeah, that card number 3, that's on its way to you as well. Um, Not a problem at all. And plus, you'll have the first card too, so you'll have 2 cards coming in the mail. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, yesterday it's like the whole highlight of my day was going to uh to motor vehicles. What was nice though, I was in and out of there like within 15 minutes. So that was nice going to that location. I think it's just best to go there and not go to these other places here where you could be waiting for like an hour or so. Because when I renewed it, I was doing the real ID. Yeah, I did have to collect stuff to bring with me. I was able to upload it beforehand. However, they tell me one document they couldn't read it. It wasn't legible. And then I had to redo everything again to upload it. And then they came back and said my birth certificate could not be authenticated after they took it the first time. And then when I asked the question, well, why? Guy said to me that it said void all over it. I'm like, what do you mean it says void on it? The only void I see on there is on the very bottom in fine print that says if you alter it or there's any smudges on it or whatever, then it's void. But no, it's not void. It's a copy of it's not like my original one, but see, the thing is I want to get a passport, and the one thing that kind of makes me cringe a little bit is that you have the original documents have to be sent off, so you can go to the post office, you can take care of it there, and then they're mailing it to where it has to go. And my issue is it's original documents, and we know what the post office is good for doing, losing things. So yeah, I end up getting extra copies just in case. And so, yeah, so that's how I kind of like spent that morning, but it wasn't bad. Like I said, I was like in and out about like 15, 20 minutes, and that was it. I stopped at Aldi because it was right across the street, and there was like hardly anybody in there whatsoever, and picked up my mail, picked up, oh, the temperature. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that it was like 62 degrees here, 62, 63. I mean, a lot of stuff was melting, but there's still like mounds of, I don't want to say it's snow because it's like snow and ice all mixed together. So, yeah, it just needs to go. And I know up north, yes, I know it just, yeah, your snow's not done yet. Um, I grew up with it, so I and lived in it, so I know. Um, yeah, the wind chills and all that. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, new copy of the original. Let's have. Yeah, see, the birth certificate, what the way mine looks like, I don't know how to describe it, but it, you know, you know how an image would look if it was like a microfiche where it's like the whole background of it would be like say black, but then the print is in white and it's got the actual punched, seal on it. When I requested another copy from what New York City Vital Records, I think it is, What they send is more like something that's a little more modern looking. It has the same certificate number, it has the right info, the right birth date, my parents' names are right on it. And, so yeah, I had to get extra copies. I had to also kind of pin down, let's see, the marriage certificate. Oh yeah, and the whole divorce paperwork. Yeah, had to go and get that too, just to prove with the whole last name and all that. So yeah, my plan is sometime soon I'm going to also do a passport as well. Originally, I wasn't thinking about doing real ID, but I thought, you know what? Let me just get it done and over with. So I'm good for another 8 more years, and this license will show up like in about 45 days. Hopefully, it shows up in 45 days. We are talking about the postal system. And I'll tell you what, the box that I have here at the apartment, I don't get them. I, you know what? So, Froggy, what it is that, okay, if I had never gotten married and my last name didn't change, then I would have just been good with my birth certificate. But I needed the marriage certificate to prove that my last name had changed. And then, of course, you need two pieces of um, something that shows your residency, like say a utility bill, a pay statement, and your car insurance policy, that kind of stuff. But some of my stuff has the PO box address on it and not the physical address. But what's nice about here is that for your driver's license, you can actually go to their website and you can do an address change on there. Now, when it comes to the registration for the car, if you have a different address, you physically have to go up there. And when I go up there, I typically get up there before they open. So then that way I can be in and out. If I wait till later in the day, forget it. It's going to be hours before it gets all done. And unfortunately, they have the physical address, which is good. However, I got the P.O. box after I had done that. So I wasn't able to provide that. And the thing is, what's crazy is that I have had mail that had this address on it. It has at some point gotten returned to people. I've had mail that has had that little yellow sticker on it about the change of address. And then what was it, on Thursday on my way back, I decided, let me just stop, let me look in that box, see if there is anything in there that's for me. There were actually two cards in there with this address, but yet they didn't do the whole sticker thing, they didn't send it back. um she's up in Canada. She's in Canada, Inika. She's up there in British Columbia. So yeah, she's over on the West Coast. So yeah, so it's really crazy and weird what they are doing with the mail. And the thing is, I could easily do my registration online and I don't even have to, you know, go up there. However, what happens if, you know, the sticker and everything that I need, like who knows what happens to it? They'll say, nope, you're not at this address, you got a change of address. And that's the other thing too. When I open that PO box, there are some companies, like for example, my bank, they took it upon themselves to go and change my address to that. A credit card or two does the same thing. They just go and change your address, and it's like, it's just a mailing address. My physical address is not changed. So I hate that they took it upon themselves to do that, but yeah. So, okay, with that, I think I'm done venting and I'm going to get through this because I got a lot of stuff to do. And like I said, I've only had about, I want to say like 3.5 hours of sleep from last night through this morning. So we're going to get started. And I got some cards here that I'm going to show you. There's a few of them I do have to open up. There's a little bit of housekeeping stuff. And then we're going to dive right into making these projects. They came out super cute. For the most part, they're kind of like a case off of what is in the mini catalog. One of them, I did change it up a little bit, but they came out really cute. So let me go ahead. Let me flip this down. And I want to tell you guys, I don't know what it is, but last Saturday night after, I don't want to pull this down too far. When I got done with the live and as the night and the weekend went on, I couldn't believe how many views last Saturday night's live had gotten. It's over like 1,800 views right now. And I'm like, I don't know if it's because it was Valentine projects or what, but man, I'm like blown away. That's almost like that one, what was it, that monthly Christmas card inspiration that I did, that one video ended up exploding. And actually a lot of you here, that's how you kind of found me, was actually through that. So let's see. Let me go through this really quick. So for bonus days, the earning period is now over. It was over on February 2nd. So now from February 3rd through the 28th, now is the time to redeem those points. Again, all you have to do is take those coupon codes that were emailed to you after you placed your order, just copy and paste them. There's a little box that you open up on the order form to where you can then paste them in there. If you put in one after the other instead of putting it on separate lines, just make sure you put like a space in between them. And so again, depending on how much your order is, you can end up using all of those coupon codes that you earned in one order, or you can split it up in multiple orders. Just know that by the 28th, you do need to redeem them, because if you don't, then you have pretty much lost them. Stampin' Up! Has a new class that has come out based on the Lovely Blossoms suite of products. So I did do, I think it was a Friday or a Saturday night live, in which I created projects using this suite. So this is going to happen on February 19th at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. The item number for this is 170929. Here in the US, the cost of it is $25. In Canada, it's $35. And this does not include the suite of products. That is completely separate. Uh, What's nice about this is that if you purchase the class, you have access to a private Facebook group. And if you can't make the live when they're doing it, you can certainly watch the replay. The virtual card retreat that I did purchase that. I have not watched any of it yet. I have not prepped anything. I haven't done anything with that yet, but I know that I have access to it, that I can go back and I can follow along. The last chance products list was updated also on February 3rd. The biggest shocker that I saw on there, guys, was the brushed brass butterflies. These are Andrea's like most like ultimate like favorite embellishment. And I don't know how many packages that she has purchased. All I know is first thing that morning, I think it was like 6:30, she sent me a text message with a screenshot and a big sad face on it about that they were going away. So they are marked down by $2. So yeah, I don't think they're sold out yet. I'm sure I probably would have heard from her when she said they're gone for good. But yeah, oh, I did get a few packages. So between Stampin' Rewards, between the coupon codes, I was able to place an order where there were some things that were going away that I purchased. Again, this order that I just picked up does have the pre-order stuff that's going to be coming out in March. And I really didn't realize it until the other day when I was figuring out what was going to be my video content for the month of February. There are actually, do I want to say there's two suites? Um, and a bundle, yeah, two suites, I think, that aren't even going to be available until March. And I have it scheduled for a Friday night live. So again, it was updated. There's some new things. A lot of the Christmas items that were online exclusives and what was in the catalog is on there as well. There are some things that have already sold out as well. So yeah, that was just updated. The product of the month, we still have, since it started in December, we still have all of the products available. So if you did not get either the True Blue Florals Designer Series paper, which was from December, or the Fabulous Saiyan stamp set that was for the month of January, and then now for the month of February, it's the Painted Illusions 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. If you haven't gotten any of these with with an order of $75 or more, that's with that's after the Stampin' Rewards have been applied to it, after the coupon codes have been added to it, and before the tax and shipping. When you reach $75, you do need to, it'll tell you up in the top of the cart how far you are to achieving it. It lets you know if you have. You do have to click on that button. You do need to add it to the cart. It's not automatically going to be added. So if you didn't get either one of these months, you can still get them. But now this is, as long as they still have them in stock, you can still get them. But again, remember, it's just one item, one product per person. Um, Also, Stampin' Up! Has a joint offer going on. The starter kit here in the US is $99 plus tax. The shipping is free. You get to choose $125 in product. And between February 3rd and March 2nd, you are going to get this free, minus the light. Don't want the lights like shining in there. This is Stampin' Up's new stamp positioner. So it does have the hinges on it. It does have the plate on it that you can just press down and then your image will stamp. I did use this in my Throwback Thursday video. I showed you how if you're doing multiples of cards and you die cut, you don't have to stamp and die cut them. You can just die cut a whole stack of pieces, and then you can just put it back into the negative of that piece of cardstock. Your stamp is lined up, and all you have to do is just ink it up and stamp it. So you have the base plate. The paper, the grid paper, it is something that will be available at some point. Demonstrators, when they were able to pre-order this, they were able to pre-order the paper as well. Now when you get the starter kit, the paper is not going to be included. Stampin' Up! Has mentioned that this tool will be available for everybody. It's not going to be before the promotion is over, but at some point, the grid paper, the tool itself, will be available for everybody. And then the magnets in here, they do have these holders for it. If you remember with the Stamparatus, you had to watch with these things because they would break very easily. Now they'll snap together, but there's less chance of them breaking. And what's nice about it, they have these little tabs that make it a little bit easier to pick them up. And so I did use this when I did my Thursday my throwback Thursday, which it just worked out perfectly because it was my birthday. And I used the Cake Day bundle, which is actually on the last chance list as well. So that's what's going on with this. Now, there's a lot of demonstrators that got this tool pretty early. So they had done a lot of demonstrating of it. Now, let me just figure out where to put this so it doesn't fall. And it's out of the way. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this thing off. I'm going to spare my batteries because we are going to be wearing this come next Friday since it's going to be the day before Valentine's Day. So with the joint offer, this is not something that you need to add uh, when you're choosing your products. This is not something you have to add. It's something that's going to automatically be added to your starter kit order. Okay, so that is that stuff. Okay, so cards. Let's kind of kick through this. So I got, like I said, there's some that today I picked up. After I picked things up on Thursday, there was clearly a lot more mail that was in my mailbox this morning. So a lot of these cards, I am part of Dina Rico's Sending Sunshine and Rainbows group. And you can send cards to people for their birthday, or people can request a card to be sent to somebody if say if they're having a rough time, maybe with their health, or just with life in general. And then people will send cards. So that's where a lot of these cards came from. So this one came from Bonnie. Love the lemon lime twist and the pretty peacock. A lot of them, they put in the little note that they didn't sign the card, so that way you can reuse it if you want. So pretty card. It's a nice fun fold. This one is from Therese. And again, most of these are open, so this is just a few that came in today's mail. And we got Coastal Cabana. I love the color combination on this. And then some do right inside the card. And then this one is from Pamela. Purple. I see purple. I think this was, if I remember right, I think this was a paper pumpkin kit. And then the little bookmarks that you can make as well. This was, I believe, what was it? The perennial postage, or the was it perennial lavender, whatever it was called. Yeah, it was the paper pumpkin kit that coordinated with that suite. So this is from Terry, not our Terry. This is a different Terry. Terry, your card is coming up very soon. Okay, this one. A lot of people put in the cardstock. You guys know that whenever I send cards that have any embellishments that could poke through the envelope, I always use those postcards, to invite people to a Stampin' Up party. Deborah, I think when you sent what do you call, when you sent the card, I saw that you reused that postcard. So thank you. Now I can use it again. Okay, so yeah, this is a different Terry. This is not our Terry. Whoops, and her little sequins kind of came off. So let me put these on here. They came unstuck. So let me kind of put that aside, and I'll fix that in a bit. This one is from ooh, pretty. I remember this was Valentine paper. Yvonne, when I was telling you about that suite that had the die to do the box, and then there was like those slim note cards and envelopes. This was the paper that was part of that suite. But I really like all those colors. And again, a lot of them put like a little note in there, so then that way you can reuse the card. So a lot of gold on there. Okay, this one is from Linda. Like I said, again, a lot of these, most of these came from that Sending Sunshine and Rainbows group. And I think this one too was a paper pumpkin kit. I have so many kits that I basically had done the cards for the video, yet I have not done the rest of the kit. So looky looky, Miss Terry. And see that the post office and their machine does a wonderful job on destroying things. Okay. Ow. And there's Terry's little signature dragonfly. Ooh, she knows me. She knows me and the purple. And let's see, is it tied? Nope, it's not tied closed, but thank you, Terry. Very, very pretty. She knows me and the purple. Next card. Froggy. I remember this was the Memories and More envelopes and cards. Is that what this one was, Froggy? Every time I use this thing to open envelopes, I want to make sure that I am not getting the card, because I don't want to cut, I don't want to end up cutting the card. I did that one time and I felt really, really bad. That was not my intention. Okay. And actually, this is the last one I have to open up. Okay. Yes, hand pen. That's what it was. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Yep, I remember they had the cards, and they had their Memories and More cards with this too. I didn't get that. I did get the rest of the suite, but yeah, this was the Memories and More that coordinated with that. So thank you, Froggy. All right, from another one of our sisters. This one is from Tracy. And it was Tracy that returned the card. So this card will definitely get reused again, probably on somebody's card that's going to go out tonight. The brushed brass butterflies. These things are so pretty. You know, on their, they have like the last chance list in an Excel format, and they do list like what catalog, or if it was online exclusive, you know, when it was from. These butterflies were from the January to June 2022 mini catalog. So these embellishments lasted quite a long time. Very sad that they are going. Tracy, this what set is this? I'm trying to think, do I actually have this one, or is this the one set I may not have? Because this is Stampin' Up, right? I mean, everything else is. But it doesn't look like the other, was it Layered Beauty? But it may be the one that I don't have. But very pretty. Thank you, Tracy. This one is from, which one is this one from? This one is from Joan. Thank you to Joan for this. A very nice, simple, and clean design. And this one is from Suzanne. And of course, you know, being part of this group, a lot of people have used elements from Dina's $1 Million set. So the Happy and Birthday, that comes from her Pretty Perennials bundle. So very pretty. And of course, it's in Dina's like signature color, her Coastal Cabana. This one is from Mary. And she's used the True Blue Florals Designer Series paper. So she's, bless her for doing the fussy cutting on the floral images. But it's all blue. Look, Terry, it's your boyfriend. Very pretty. And she used some of that blue and white gingham ribbon. I think that's the new ribbon. That's part of that Easter suite. This one is from Samantha. This one, I'm pretty sure that this was an actual card kit. I don't know if it's still available anymore, but I vaguely kind of remember the images on this one. Again, a lot of people don't sign it. They kind of add that little note if you want to reuse the card. I Me personally, I don't really reuse somebody's card. You know, I typically end up just making them. But this, I know this was part of a paper pumpkin kit. This one is from Nancy. Love the pretty peacock. This one is from Debbie, using a lot of the aqua. So it looks like Summer Splash and some Coastal Cabana on this one. I don't even have this stamp set yet. This is Julie Davison's $1,000,000 set. I don't have that one. Not yet. This one is from Julie. So this, I can't even remember the name of the suite for this one. But use the very vanilla, and some people even emboss. What is this color? This looks like it's not always artichoke because it is too light. It is not, I don't think it's pear pizzazz, but I think it was one of our old colors. I don't even remember where we at when it comes to a color refresh, because they typically happen like every 5 years. I can't remember when the last one was. This one is from Cat Pear Pizzazz. This paper here, I love this paper with all of this greenery. The what is that? Old olive and the pretty peacock go together very, very well. This one's a fun fold. So this flap, it comes undone, and then, hold on, then it opens up like this. So she's got the paper glued on the corners, but if you just did like the edge, it can easily become a pocket where you can put something in there. So this one, again, this one is from Linda. Then this one is from, we're almost done. This paper too, it's Everyday Something. This paper is on the last chance list. It's got the Lost Lagoon and the Wild Wheat. Yeah, I did get myself another pack of that paper. This one is from Branda. And this one, all the purple and the butterflies. This one is from Deb. This is not our Deb. This is from a Deb in Virginia. But I do like the idea of this, where she did the ink blending and then just stamped those butterflies on top of it. And then she added a little bit of the dry embossing on the corner there. And this is what I'm saying that is completely crazy. So was it last week or the week before? I did get a Christmas card from Carol Helms, and I did let you guys know she had a new address, so she added it right there. Look at the address. So this is the apartment address. This is what was in my mailbox here on the property. This did not go to my P.O. box. But then again, I don't know if it's because the last name isn't right, but yeah, it was in the mailbox. So this is the card from her. So she was, I forget the name of that. What was it called? Mixed Media. These made this, I'm pretty sure that's the paper, and then maybe the elements from a Memories and More. So thank you, Carol. This is another one that was in the mailbox as well. Usually they get sent back, eventually to whoever had sent it, or sometimes it gets the sticker on it that reveals the new address. I don't get them. I don't understand them at all. I don't know their rationale on why they do things the way they do, but it drives me crazy. This one's from Deidre. This I know is from I think, it coordinated with the Autumn Toile suite, but this was from a paper pumpkin kit. All right, so that is all the cards for now. I will show any more cards that come in between, now and next weekend, but this is the big chunk of them. What was it from? What was it from? The ones from Sharon and Carol. I showed those last week. So let me move those out of the way. Let me get a sip of water. And let's get started on our project. So I will say that, of course, everything is in the description as far as the dimensions and the list of supplies. One of the other things that I am going to work on and have it done at least by Sunday is the PDF for this. From the past 2 Saturdays, I did get those PDFs done. They are uploaded there to the Google Drive. So from the last, was it Valentine Kisses bundle that I did, that PDF, like I said, it's done and it is out there. Okay, so what we are using tonight. So we are using the Made with Love suite of products. So there is the Made with Love Designer Series paper, a lot of like Valentine themed designs on it. This has Bubble Bath, Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, Real Red, and Strawberry Slush colors in it. And the cards that I have made for tonight all contain all of those colors. We're also using some gold foil as well. One of the things that's part of the suite that I'm not using tonight, but I did want to show you, these are the Hearts Gusseted Treat Bags. They're real red and white. You do get 16 in this package, and they are a fairly large sized bag. Some demonstrators I know, like Erica Serwin, she took this bag, she kind of cut it down, and it was kind of like an open, like box type of bag that she can put treats in it. And I think she kind of made it, was it like an explosion type box or something along those lines, where she put different little things in there, like little treats and little gifts, and and little things that would fit in all of the pockets. So again, we're not using this tonight, but I did want to show it to you. There is also an embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder called Hearts of Love. I am using this on one of our cards tonight. I think it's the second card. Then there are like two embellishments. This is Bubble Bath, and this is faux linen ribbon. So it is 1/8 inch in width, and it ties very, very nicely. This is probably one that I'm going to need another roll of it because it is really, really pretty. And then these are the loose Valentine's assortment. So with these, they are kind of like, I want to say like a rubber type of texture on them. You do have some little, what looks like almost like little sprinkles. You have these little letters. You have hearts in, let's see, Strawberry Slush, Bubble Bath, and in white. And then there are some real red lips in here as well. So lots of little embellishments that you can put in a shaker card. We did not make one, but I did use these as the embellishment. And I also like blinged them up a little bit by putting some Wink Stella on them. And then last but not least is the bundle itself. So Endless Love, this is all the images of the stamp set. Um, the one thing I will tell you is that a lot of these images, now I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I was mentioning it uh, to Yvonne earlier when she got here, that I showed her some of the new stuff that I had pre-ordered, and it seems like a lot of these images now are larger than what I'm used to. Now I understand, they're also looking to cater to those who do the scrapbooking, but there comes a point in time where some things are just going to be too big for a card front. So some of those stamp sets, like that Homemade Sweetness with the big jelly jar, that's pretty big. The stamp is big, the die is big, and I'm just hoping that everything is not going to be, so large that it's going to kind of look awkward on, a regular sized greeting card. And then here are the set of dies. You have two detailed little arrows. You got one large one, a little tag, and then you got this swirly like heart here, and then you have all these other dies here as well. All right. How long have we been? Oh, wow. Well, yeah, let's get going. Let's get going, or we don't want to be here for 2 hours. So let's get it going. Let's get it going. All right. I have my little printout that lets me know of what the dimensions are of everything. And so for this card, my card base is Strawberry Slush, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of basic white that's 5.25 by 4. That is for the inside of my card. I have a piece of the Made with Love Designer Series paper that measures 5.5 by 3/4. Out of one of the heart dies, I die cut that out of basic white. And then there's this solid heart. Did one in Strawberry Slush, two in Bubble Bath, one in Real Red, Flirty Flamingo, and Poppy Parade. All right, so I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Folder. Okay, I will kind of set that aside. Let's go ahead and let's stamp the inside of our card. So I'm going to bring in my Pierce mat, since we are using photopolymer stamps. And let me pull out the stamp set. And on this one, I am going to use the X and O. And then Hugs and Kisses, Today and Always. And then there is that heart that is just kind of like a whimsical heart that likes to stick to things. So we're going to use those. That's for the hold on. That's for the outside. I just knocked my mouse and now I can't see anything. But I know that I'm a bit crooked. I want to make sure that I'm kind of straight here, but I don't know. All right. We're going to do the inside first. The inside I am going to stamp in Poppy Parade. So there's one more stamp that I need. And that's this cluster of hearts here. And first off, we want to turn it this way because that's going to be the direction of our card. So let me get my blocks. My blocks desperately need to be cleaned. And we got our X's and O. And let's see, we got, is that going to fit on there? Nope. Let's do that. we'll do that. And then let's get one of these to do that heart. Okay. So like I said, the inside, we are going to stamp Poppy. So let me just pull out all the colors. Again, I'm using the same colors that are in the paper. Flirty Flamingo, Real Red, Bubble Bath, Poppy Parade, and Strawberry Slush. So in this one, I'm not putting a greeting on the inside. I'm just going to add some of these hearts. Now, I did add some ink to these ink pads. Now, they're probably too inky. And I'm going to stamp this right down here in the bottom right-hand corner, like so. I love Poppy Parade. It's a nice bright red. And we'll close this up for the time being. I do have my chamois. I am using, yes, it is very late where you are, and I truly appreciate that you stop by and you join us for a little bit, Inika. Have a wonderful, restful night's sleep, and we'll see you again soon. All right. So then on these hearts, we are going to stamp the X and the O, and we're going to do it in its coordinating color. So again, we got the Poppy Parade, and I'm going to get the X and O, and let's do it the right way. And I'm going to stamp this right here in the middle, like so. And of course, you can see that that's still wet, so we're going to let that dry. Close this up, clean our stamp. Yeah, I pulled this out because when I was doing my Thursday video and I used that Stampin' Positioner tool, it was easier to use that than trying to use the Stampin' Scrub. I will tell you, my mouth is like getting very dry. Okay, so Strawberry Slush, or let's just go with Flirty Flamingo. It's right there on the top. And let's ink this up. And let's see, Flirty Flamingo. Okay, that's a little bit pale. This is the one that I didn't re-ink. Didn't think I needed to re-ink that one. All the squeaking, all the shaking. And I'm still crooked. Dear Lord. Okay. Then we got Real Red. I inked this one up too. And we'll stamp that right there. Okay. Okay, then let's go with our Strawberry Slush. And we'll ink that right there. I want to make sure that we definitely clean it, especially going into our last color, which is our lightest Bubble Bath. Okay, so in the middle. And this one too. Okay, and we're going to leave that open because actually we need that for our next stamp. So let me bring in my white heart here. I'm going to ink up this heart. And I'm going going to stamp that kind of like in the middle. Okay. And then we're going to do Hugs and Kisses Today and Always. And we are going to stamp that in Strawberry Slush. So let's do Today and Always first, because this is our longer greeting. And I'm going to stamp that kind of like at a diagonal. And then Hugs and Kisses. I'm going to do that right above it, like so. All right. Move these out of the way. And let me clean these real quick. All right. Now, let's go and put our card together. And let me move that. All right, so the inside, I didn't put a greeting on this. I'm going to bring in my seal. And I just realized I may need to go get another box of glue dots. We'll see if we have enough for what I have on my, what do you call it, in my box here on my desk. So I'm going to place this right here in the middle. Okay. Then our designer series paper, we're going to put this on the front. Bring in my glue. And I did this just a tad longer, so then that way I knew that it would go from the top to the bottom. Just make sure that that's lined up. Hold it down and press it down. And then let's get our snips. Yvonne, if you have a moment, can you do me a big favor? Can you come get my water jug and put some more water in it for me, please? I'm starting to run out, and I think it's because I'm doing so much talking that my mouth is getting very dry. No, I need more. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now let's put that down. Okay, I'm going to take, let's see, we're not going to use the liquid glue for this part. I'm going to bring in my seal, and I'm going to add some seal to the backs of these hearts. All except for that white one and my Poppy Parade one. There it is. Okay, Poppy Parade, we're going to pop that up. We're also going to pop that one up as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with my Flirty Flamingo one, and I'm going to add that like right about here. And then let's see, we're going to do Strawberry Slush. This one's going to go, let's see, make sure that we kind of get this lined up right. So this one is going to kind of go over here. And this one's going to go there. And then let's see, Bubble Bath. This one will go down here. And then our Real Red we'll go there. And then let's see, we're going to pop this one up. Okay. And one more thing, if you could, in the second drawer down on this side, can you get me another box of glue dots? It's probably towards the back. It's in that black and white box. Yeah. I'm just not 100% sure I have enough to get me through. Thank you. All right, so we're going to pop that up. And let's see. That's a new sheet. I know I got a sheet kind of started. At least I think I got a sheet in here that started. Nope, evidently I used it. All right. So let's just use a new sheet. I like to use those big long strips that are along the outer edge. And I use those for, like, you know, big parts that you put on, say, like the card front. Okay, so let's take our Poppy Parade one. And we will place that right about here. And then our Hugs and Kisses, we are going to add some, whoops, that took the paper right off. And that took the paper off. Come on. And one right there. Okay, then we're going to take this piece and we are going to add that right there. So we'll press this all down and then we're going to trim what's overhanging from our card front. And then this one. All right, so now we got that. Now we're going to do some embellishing of this. And we're going to bring in these loose Valentine's assortment. So again, these have no adhesive on them. So I'm going to use some glue. And again, these kind of have like they're flat. And they kind of have like this rubber texture feel to them. And I'm going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to add just a few drops on here. And let's see, we're going to put one here and here. I think that's it. Yeah, just the 5. And on this, we're going to use these white hearts. So let me get my take your pick tool, pull that out. And we got our putty tip. And then let's pick these up and just place them down. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto like my next card. And then at the very end, I'll add some Wink of Stella to these. That way I give these at least a chance to dry. So when I go to put that on there, it doesn't pull these up. And let's see, put one right there. And then one more right there. Okay. Now let's just hope I remember at the very end that I put Wink Stella on them, because I've been known to forget to put like the last bit of a touch on something. But I want this glue to dry some so these things don't shift all over the place. So there is the first card so far. Again, we're going to add some Wink Stella onto these white hearts to give them a little bit of bling. Okay, so our next card. All right, so this one has a little bit going on with it. This too, I cased this again from a sample that is in that mini catalog, but I did change it up a little bit, basically because the pattern paper that they had used on it, I evidently used quite a bit of that paper, so I decided, let me change it up. Let me use another pattern instead. Let me bring in some scrap paper because we're going to need that. So nothing that I'm doing tonight am I doing any coloring with any Stampin' Blends. All right, so for my card base, we have Bubble Bath. That's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have another piece of Bubble Bath that's 5.5 by 5.5 by 4.25. And I had used, yeah, where is it? I've lost it. I've lost it. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. With the Hearts of Love 3D embossing folder. And then I have a piece of basic white that's 5.25 by 4 for the inside. Out of a scrap piece of basic white, I had die cut this larger heart with the cutout circles around the edge. Now, the sample that's in the catalog, they had used the Bubble Bath ribbon and they actually kind of like stitched in this. I realize that that is going to be very, very time consuming and I don't know exactly how much ribbon it's going to use. So I elected to go a different route with that. So we have our white heart. Then I have two pieces of that Made with Love Designer Series paper. These both measure 4.5 by 1.5. I have another piece of the Designer Series paper. This measures 4.25 by 1. Out of my gold foil, I die cut the large arrow. And then I have a scrap basic white for my greeting, and this measures 4.25 by a half. And we are going to use a punch to punch out our greeting after we have stamped it. All right, so I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. All right, bone folder. We easily lose things on this desk, and it's not a very big desk. All right, let's set that aside. For the inside, let me open up my card, my sample card. We're going to do Happy Valentine's Day. So, come on, get unstuck, get unstuck, get unstuck, get unstuck. All right. So I want Valentine's. I want happy, and I want day. Now I got that song, Oh Happy Day, stuck in my head. All right, it happens every time. All right, so let's get some blocks. Happy Day and Valentine's. All right, so Stampin' Pierce mat. Put that right there. Let's get our piece of basic white. And I want Strawberry Slush ink. And I'm going to ink up Valentine's. Now I think my ink pad is too inky. When I went to stamp, it was like, it just looked like it was very, very dry. But now it looks like it's way too inky. Kind of like how it was when I first got it. Okay, looks a little dark, but it will lighten up some. And then I want Real Red. And let's get our happy. And we will stamp that right here over Valentine's. And then our day will go right over here. Okay, let's close that up. Let's clean our stamps. I mean, they're going to be stained, but if I clean them right away, kind of minimize that staining a little bit. Okay. Now, let's take this and we'll take our card base. We'll kind of set that aside. Let's let's do our greeting here. So our greeting is going to be today and always. So we still have that on our block, and we're going to stamp this in Real Red. Whoa, let's not put our finger in the ink pad. Okay, ink that up. We will stamp that like right in the middle. Okay, we're going to let that dry a little bit before we punch it out. Since this ink is really, really inky, I want to give that a chance to dry so it doesn't smear. And we'll clean this. And I still got ink on my finger. Okay, let's see. I think everything, no, not everything is done yet. So on my heart, I want to kind of put this at an angle a little bit because this is how we're going to have it sit on our card. I am going to take, let's see, let me get a larger block here. And I want the stamp that says love. Now, the font that they use in this stamp set is the same font that's in that mini alphabet die, so you can definitely use the two of them together. For this, we're going to stamp this in Poppy Parade. Okay, ink this up. Okay, and then I want to stamp this straight. So I'm going to come up about here, stamp down like so. And let's clean this stamp. I tried to get all these cards, you know, created last night. And then this morning, you know, sleep in a little bit and then, you know, do the whole write-up and all that. Yeah, after I did this, the third card that we're going to do, I ended up spending way too much time on it because there were, I mean, you'll see there was one part of it that I really had to understand what their instructions were on how to complete one of the parts on it, but I figured it out and I'm going to show you guys. Hopefully I do remember what I exactly what I did. Drink some more water. Okay, so I'm going to bring in, this is the 3 banner punch. This came out, I think, a month or 2 ago in our online exclusives. I'm going to use this banner here that's got the 2 flagged ends. Now your cardstock can be wider than this. I didn't realize and think about the punch until after I've like kind of like cut this. So I'm going to kind of line this up and I'm going to punch that out and we'll get rid of that. And let me get the punch out of the way. All right, so then I'm going to set that aside. And our love, let me get this out of the way. All right, let me just start to move some things out of our way because it's getting a little crowded here. All right, so I'm going to bring in my scrap paper. So I'm going to open this all up. And let's see, I'm going to take my heart. And I got my blending brush here. I'm going to pull in some bubble bath ink. Now again, in the sample, they took the ribbon and they kind of like weaved it around, you know, not every single hole, but they skipped a few in between. As nice as that looks and as pretty as it looks, it's very time consuming to do that and probably uses quite a bit of ribbon to do so. And I just have that one roll of ribbon. So I decided that I was going to add some interest to this die cut. So instead I'm going to take some bubble bath and I'm going to lightly blend some ink around the edges of this. Just so a little subtle bit of color. And of course, I'm looking at this paper and I got splatters of Wink of Stella on it. So I'm probably adding Wink of Stella into my bubble bath ink pad. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, so we got a little bit of color around the edge of that. So I'm going to set that aside. And then let's bring in that embossed panel of our bubble bath. So we're going to make this from plain to kind of spruce it up a little bit. So make sure that I got some things out of the way because I don't want, when I go to do the splattering, I don't want the splatters to get on things I don't want it to. Okay, so on here, let me again, why did I put my brush away? Why did I put the ink away? I still need it. Okay, let's ink this up. And I'm going to add some bubble bath on it. You can barely see this. For as much shaking as I'm doing with this camera, I should have some music playing, shouldn't I? You know, maybe a little Elvis. But nope. YouTube will ding me. Okay, so we got some ink on there, so it kind of makes these hearts stand out a little bit. Now we're not done with this. Let's close this up. And let's bring in, actually, I think I used all three of these colors. So these are the dark versions of the Stampin' Blends in Poppy Parade, Strawberry Slush, and Flirty Flamingo. I got my bone folder here. Let's start off with Flirty Flamingo. Now, you're not really going to see a lot of the Flirty Flamingo because it's pretty light compared to these other colors. But you can faintly see it on here. Okay. And then let's get our strawberry slush. Let's do it this way. We get more splatters this way. So definitely got more with that one. And let's do our poppy parade. So definitely adding some interest to this. All right. So we got that. Oh, actually, we're going to do one more thing. Let's break out. Well, let's just break out the Winka Stella, won't we? And let's just add some of the sparkles to it. Trying not to hit the brush on it. But yeah, if you can see that. But we definitely got some interest on this embossed piece of cardstock. All right. Lots of splatters all over the place. All right. Get that out of the way. We'll move that. And we'll move this. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's assemble our cards. So let me bring in the base and our inside. Okay, and then we'll put this in here like so. All right, then we'll get our liquid glue and we'll add that to the back of our embossed piece. Again, this is the same size as our card base. I'm going to line that up. Make sure that everything is kind of lined up on here. And let me get that scrap paper again. I'll place this down. We'll just press that down and make sure that that's nice and stuck. Okay, so there is our card base. We got a little glue goober right there. All right, now let's close up our glue. I'm going to take my designer series paper pieces here, my two larger ones. I'm going to add some adhesive to the back. All right. So one is going to go kind of like over here. I'm not looking to have it all straight. You know, wonky is good. Put that there. And then our little hearts here, we'll add some adhesive to that. And this will go in the middle like so. So we'll press that all down. And then for our large heart, I'm going to take my arrow here and I'm going to cut this in half like so. I'm going to take my Scotch tape and take our arrow. We're going to place that about here on my heart. Kind of hold this down while I put a piece of Scotch tape on there just to kind of hold that in place. And then we'll do the same thing for tail part of our arrow. And so I'm kind of looking to see if I can kind of get it to look like it is longer than what it really is. Okay, then that's what it looks like. And let's get some dimensionals. And I'm going to add just right on top there. Let's see, let's put one there and one right there. Whew. Okay, we got all those. And let's take our heart. And again, we're going to have the word love. We want that straight. So our heart's going to be at an angle like so. So we'll press that down. And then the today and always, we're going to add dimensionals to that as well. One on this end, one on that end. And then today and always is going to go right underneath the love like so. Okay, so now we're going to add, well, we need the ribbon. The one thing I did take from the card sample is that right over here, there is a bow. So we are definitely going to add a bow to this. Yeah, the stitching part, I don't have an issue with it. I just know that it would have been just way too time consuming to do that. So I just modified it a bit. Kind of made it my own. Even though the technique looked really, really cool. Okay, so I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to add that right there. Just going to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, glue dots. All right. I'm going to add the knot right there. Wrap this. And then I'm going to stick this right here. And then get my snips for my ribbon. And snip. And which way am I going here? And snip. Okay. Let's put that in there. And then let's get our loose assortment embellishments again. This time I'm going to add some of these strawberry slush hearts. So I got 3 of them in there. And then I'm going to add a couple of these red lips on here as well. So let's add our hearts first. One there and then one down here. Okay, right here. And now a little bit of glue is kind of oozing out on this, but it will dry clear, so I'm not concerned about it. I just want to make sure that these things stay on here and they don't come off. So put that one down. Okay. So then we're going to add 2 of the lips. So one of them, whoops, is going to go right here. And our other one will go down here. Okay. Let's see. Make sure it's facing the right direction. Whoops, don't move. Stay put. And then let's get another. And we'll put that right down here. Okay. So let's close that up so we don't have a mess. Okay, so there is the second card. And again, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to those embellishments, but I'm going to let them let the glue dry on that first, and we'll get that at the very end. All right, so let me kind of move some of this stuff out of the way because feeling like a little closed in, and actually I'm feeling a little bit warm too. Ow. So the last one, we kind of like have a little bit of everything on this. Again, this is a case off of a card that's out of the mini catalog for this suite. Again, I'm being really good and using the designer series paper and not just like buying and hoarding it. I'm actually using it. Okay, so my card base, let me pull out my little sheet here. So my card base is basic white thick, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of that Made with Love designer series paper that's the same size as the card front, so 5.5 by 4 1/4. Another piece of that designer series paper I used, I think it's the second largest perennial postage die. It's either the second or the third. It may be the second. So I got that piece die cut. I have 2 more patterns of the designer series paper. This was what was giving me grief last night. This is why it took me so long to get this card done. So each one of these pieces measures 3 by 5. I will go over how I scored it and how we're going to make these into envelopes. I have 2 pieces, they're kind of scrap pieces of basic white. These, what do these measure? 4 1/4 by 5/8. We're going to be putting our, stamping our greetings on there out of a scrap piece of Real Red. One die cuts out these 2 smaller arrows. And then there is a die that, there's a stamp that stamps a cluster of hearts. We used that in our first card. There is a die that will, excuse me, also die cut that. So I die cut the Real Red cardstock, and this is the largest heart that's in that. That's going to go on our envelope. Okay, so let's fold and burnish our card base, and then there is a greeting for, or there is something for the inside of this. I did put a little something in each one of these cards. Let me look at my sample to see what I put in there, and I'm looking at my grid paper, and I am just completely wonky. My camera is probably all wonky too, because I'm looking at it and it just looks like it's so crooked. Okay, so for this one, I'm just simply using Today and Always. You get my block. And we're going to stamp this in Real Red. And Pierce mat. Okay. And we'll stamp that right in the middle. Well, kind of in the middle. Okay, we'll set that aside. Let that dry a little bit. Close that up. All right, what's next? All right, so on these greeting pieces, strips, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our greeting on this. So there's a stamp in here that says sending you, and then I want the one that also says hugs and kisses. So we used almost all of the stamps in this set. Let me get a block here. Okay, sending you. All right, and then we want, let's see, we want strawberry slush ink. Okay, the sending you, I'm gonna ink that up. And on one of these, I'm going to stamp it off to the left side, like so. Okay, and then the hugs and kisses. No, that's today and always, wrong one. And that one is going to go on this other one, like so. All right, this is all of the stamping that we're doing for this card. So let me get these ink pads out of the way. Okay, let's set those aside. Get that out of the way. All right, so let me get my snips. And on these greeting pieces, I'm just going to cut an angle off of the ends of them. All right, then let's get our card base. And we're going to get our piece of designer series paper, add some glue. So if you are liking the projects, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you're new here and you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do have lots of content. I think this makes 341 videos that are on this channel. I do have playlists. So there's my Friday and there's sometimes a Saturday Night Live playlist. There's a Throwback Thursday. There's Paper Pumpkin. There's monthly Christmas card inspiration. And so, yeah, there's lots of videos out there. There are over 100 PDFs out there on my Google Drive. So every Friday Night Live that I do have a PDF of the projects. In the date under the title there, if you click on that, it'll bring you back to the video. Now, the PDF for tonight's projects, I need to still complete that, so that will probably get done at some point like on Sunday afternoon, and then this will be out there. But all the other ones I've done from the past couple of weeks, I did get caught up and they are out there. So the link for those, when you look in the description, just above the list of supplies, there is a little paragraph right there, and there's a link. If you click on it, the PDFs are out there. They're free. You can download it, and everything's there. Pictures, dimensions, the list of supplies, and then you can always go back to the video to reference like any of the parts of it. All right, so there is my card base. Then I'm going to take my die cut piece here, and let's get some dimensionals. And actually, let's use up, where's that sheet that had all of these straight edge pieces. So none of the dimensional sheets go to waste. We use all of it. Oh, the texture notes ones are? Oh, I didn't see those on there, Froggy. I figured those dies were gonna last a while. I know the stamp set went early, but I figured they were gonna keep those for a while. Wow, that list when they came out with the list on the 3rd that evening, I went to so I have like all these media bookshelves that I have like all the stamp sets on in alphabetical. Mind you, I have a whole lot that have still not been intermingled with them. And so anything that went on the last chance list that I have on this top shelf, that's all what's current. Yeah, that stack that's up there is starting to dwindle down. It's like these things are like retiring like way too fast. Just way too fast. And the problem is half the time I don't know if the products are online exclusive, if they're in a catalog. There's just so much turnaround on this stuff that it's crazy. All right, so I'm going to make sure my hearts are in the right direction. And I'm going to center this on my card base like so. All right, now the fun part, the part that had me struggling and scratching my head last night trying to figure this out. Didn't help that I was tired, but let's see if I can get through this and I explain it. I explain it correctly. All right, so 2 patterns of the paper measuring 3 by 5. So one of the things you have to be mindful of is when you are using paper that is directional and knowing that how you fold this up, that your print is going to be facing in the right direction. So on this particular piece here, so the pattern is, your flowers are going up the right direction. So right here, I have scored it at 1 inch and then here at 3 inches. On either side, I have scored it at a half an inch. And then I looked at and found the middle. So this is the 1.5 inch mark right here. Now this part is going to be the back of our envelope, but it's also going to kind of be the part that well, this particular envelope is not open, so I have put a little dot right here. It's in the middle and it kind of comes in 1/4 of an inch. Now the other envelope that I'm going to do is going to be open, so you'll notice it more on that, not so much on this one because this one's going to be closed. So what I am going to do, first off, I'm going to get a pair of scissors that have a longer blade on them. It makes it a little bit easier to get a straight cut on these. Okay. So where I have, let's see, no, right here. So the part that's the 1 inch piece, so your print is going to be upside down. These score lines right here at 1 inch, we're going to go from that score line and we're going to go straight up to that point that is the center. So from the score line and just kind of line it up and then just snip so that it's easier to do it with a long bladed scissor. The snips, it's like you could end up turning it a little bit. So again, go from where the score line is and then just cut straight across, and then that's going to be the flap of our envelope. So then actually what we're going to do too, let's see, let's score this first. Okay, so we're going to score our sides. Okay, And then this is going to fold up like so. And let's just score that. Okay, so then this little triangle right here, we're going to remove that. So let me get my snips and just go straight across to that score line. I'll remove that. Okay, and then again, let's score these. And then I'm going to take my Terran. We're going to add that right here on this piece, and I'm just going to add it towards the outer edge. So, and do the same thing over here. Okay. And then let me get the pokey part of my take your pick tool. And let's remove these paper backings. And then we're going to fold this up. And we're just going to press that down. And then our envelope top is going to kind of come down like so. And again, this one, we're going to have it closed. So I'm going to take a little bit of tear and tape to kind of keep this closed. Okay, and we'll close it up. And then we're going to take a little bit of glue. We're going to put it right here at the end of our flap. And then let's see, where's my heart? And we're going to place that right there. And some glue is coming out, but there is our first little envelope, and we're going to do the same thing with the other piece, except this one we're not going to have this one closed. We're going to have this one open. So again, you got to kind of be mindful on the direction of your paper. Yeah, it was a little tricky for me. Again, I was tired too, and that didn't help. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some tear end tape. I'm going to add it to the back of this because this is going to stick down to our card base. Okay, so there is that part. Now for our other envelope. Again, so on here, it's in the right direction, and the 1 inch score line is here, the 3 inches there. So again, it's scored on either side at a 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna not use my right hand. Okay, and then let's see. We want to fold this up like so. Okay, now on here, I did do the same thing. I put a little mark here in the center and came down by 1/4 inch. And on this, I am going to trim it. So I still got these ends folded in. And I'm going to go from this corner straight to that little mark. And then I'm going to do the same thing from this side. Go from corner. And just have a little notch like that. All right, and then this is going to be our envelope flap. So again, I'm going to get my larger scissors. That's where I have my center mark right there. My score line is right. It is right here. Actually, I should fold it over so I could see it a little bit better. Okay. So from score line to the dot. And we are going to, yeah, I'll cut that last. So we're going to go from the dot to this side. Okay. And then our fold, it's going to fold up like this, but I want to remove these pieces right here. So on here, I'm going to cut like at an angle, like so. Same thing over here. Okay, now let's go and burnish this again. And let's get our tear and tape. Let's get some water first. If you would like to be in the card drawing, if you haven't already done so already, pinned up at the top of the chat box is a link to the Google spreadsheet to where you can add your name. And at the very end, I will do a wheel of names drawing. For those of you that have added your name and are still here, and you get to choose which card that you want, except, you know, whichever one is the last one that's left, that's the one that you will get. My plan is that I'll get these cards out in the mail tomorrow because we are running out to the store again tomorrow. So I will be stopping at the post office. So if you would like to add your name, go ahead. If you're having any issues, any problems at all, just say something in the chat box and someone here will be more than happy to add your name to that spreadsheet. And I see your question, Froggy. The finished size of these, they're 2 by 2. So they're a perfect square. You cut the paper at 3 by 5, and once assembled, they're 2 by 2. All right, tear and tape. Let's go on the outer edge up to that score line. Again, their Stampin' Up! Does a card sample recipe PDF for all the projects that are either online exclusive or in the catalog. And so they give you the list of supplies that they use, but they don't give you dimensions on anything. All they did, like in the instructions, was just to say to make the envelopes, they're 3 by 5 in size. And then it says, okay, on the short side, and score it at a 1/2 inch. And then on the long side, it's like 1 inch and 3 inches. So just trying to figure it out. And plus, remember, it's a directional paper, so you got to kind of be mindful, like which end has that 1 inch score line, because that's going to be the top of your envelope. So that's your opening, your opening flap. All right, so now let's take this and we'll adhere it. Now again, on this one, we're leaving the envelope flap open. So on here, we're going to add some tear and tape to the back of this as well. And also, if you would like to receive my monthly newsletter, I do send it out like the first Tuesday of each month. So it just went out earlier this week. It does have the video schedule of what I'm doing for the month of February. It has the promotions, the new kits, and all those kinds of things that Stampin' Up! Is doing. There's even a section of what I'm doing. I've kind of like stepped back on doing in-person classes because it just didn't seem like there was an interest. However, if anybody ever is interested, in a class or something, and you reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to put one together. The thing is that a lot of work goes into doing the videos, and I do at least 2 videos a week. And so to come up with a design, sometimes it's very easy and very quick, and sometimes it takes a little bit because the mojo's kind of like, gone. So because it's so much work, I don't want to, I still also work a regular full-time job as well. So, it's again to do a whole lot of extra work that I don't need to do. But again, if someone ever reached out and said that they were interested, I'm more than happy to put something together. All right, so I'm going to remove these paper backings off of the back of my envelopes. I want to make sure that these envelopes are going to stick to that die cut panel that's on the front of my card. All right, so my bubble bath printed one is going to go right here. What's nice about this is that I'm not worrying about them being straight. So that's great. And then this one is going to go right here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my arrows. I'm going to take my glue dots. And let's add one to the bottom of my arrow. And I'm being very careful because the top and the bottom part of this arrow does have these little cuts in it, so I don't want to, tear my my pieces. So this one, I'm going to kind of tuck it a little bit into the envelope, and then I'm going to place it down going in that direction. And then my other one, let's turn this, and we'll put that one there. And then this one's going to kind of overlap this one. So it's going to go in, let's see, go in there and go that way. All right, and then for our greeting pieces, I am going to take on this end. So there's a little bit of bulk here on this and on the envelope piece itself. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap here between this cardstock piece and this Flirty Flamingo panel. So I'm going to add one dimensional over on the left side of these greetings. And then I'm going to add adhesive to here because this is what's going to overlap the envelope. So we're going to take sending you, stick this over just a little bit. Okay. And then we got hugs and kisses. All right, so now our last part, we're going to do some embellishing on this one as well. Let me get these things out of the way. And let's bring in the embellishments again. And this time I am going to use some of the bubble bath hearts and then these little itty bitty little letters that have little hearts on it, so you can see which direction the hearts are in. So you want to be mindful with that as you're placing these down. So we are going to add, let's see, put a glue drop there, and we'll do one up here, and we're going to add the bubble bath hearts. So this one will go there, and then another one right up here. All right, and then we're going to add some of these envelopes. So we'll add one there and there and one right here. All right. All right, so again, I'm making sure that I'm looking at what direction the heart is in that's on the back of this envelope, and make sure that I put it on the right way. Okay, and then one more. It's going to go right there. All right, so there is the third card. Now we're going to add our Wink of Stella to our little embellishments, and then all of our cards are done. So let me kind of get some of this stuff out of the way because we have a pretty big mess going on here. Again, if you would like to be a part of tonight's card drawing, please add your name to the spreadsheet. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to take those names, add it to a wheel of names, and then we're going to spin the wheel and we're going to draw some names for tonight's card. So let me just get this out of the way. Okay. Let me bring up the card so you can see it. So there's the third one. All right. Wink of Stella. All right. So I'm going to start off with my first card because that's been sitting there and drying for a while. And I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm just going to add some onto these hearts. Add a little bit of bling to them. Because they're they're a matte finish. And again, they just feel like very thin, like rubber shapes. So there's not a lot of bulk to these. Okay, so there is that one. And we'll even get the lips as well. Okay, and then our final card. Let's see, they're all over here. All right, I think we got all of them. Okay, so now we have all of our cards done. So let me show you what we've done tonight. So here is a very simple layout. Again, these cards are cased from the samples that are in the January to April mini catalog for the Made with Love suite. So this one used the die cuts, did a little stamping on them, and just kind of did a little popping up. So it's just basically like your single layer, very quick and easy card to put together. So we just have a little graphic like right down here on the bottom. You can put whatever greeting you want up in there. Our second card, we again, I kind of changed up the whole kind of like the layout of this a little bit. So the paper that they used on here was actually this paper here that we used on this card, but I've been using that paper on a lot of things, so I didn't have a whole lot, so I thought to bring in a different pattern. So this one looks like it has like the Flirty Flamingo in it, so I kind of again mixed all the colors together. On the card base, they did not add all of that to their embossed piece. So I embossed it, I added some bubble bath ink on there, and then I did some splatters with the dark Flirty Flamingo, Strawberry Slush, and Poppy Parade Stampin' Blends. Again, I just tapped them. I didn't, flick the brush tips in the cap because that'll just destroy them. And then I also did the same thing and did some splatters of the Wink of Stella on there. And again, in their sample, they used some of this bubble bath ribbon where they kind of wrapped, through so many, they didn't do every single hole, but they went all the way around the heart and then had the bow down here at the bottom. To me, that would have been very time consuming in this video, and it probably would have used a whole lot of ribbon as well. So I kind of changed it up, brushed some of that bubble bath ink around it, and then I still added the bow right there. And of course, we got our little embellishments that we added some Wink of Stella to. And then our final card, we did some envelopes and then some die cuts and the embellishments. And so even though like you got all these different colors, everything just, I don't know, to me it just looks like it all goes together. It all just works well. And I like how this one came out. Again, the designer series paper is cut to 3x5 for the envelopes, and then the finished size of them is 2x2. So when I do the PDF, I will kind of explain, that where the score lines are, where you're trimming and all of that. Okay, so there are our three cards. Wow. Whew, it's been a while. My mouth is very, very dry. Let's see what we have here as far as names on our spreadsheet. Wow, I've almost gone through. I got like this great big water jug. So that Friday before we were getting the storm, Yvonne and myself, we had gone up to Walmart. So I had gotten myself the teal one, and there was a dark purple one. Got two of those. She got like a pale pink one. We had these filled up with water. And I will say that for the most part, I've been drinking a lot of water, but the only problem is you have to use like, the restroom a lot. So yeah, I mean, it's good you're drinking plenty of water, but man, but I think it's all this talking that my mouth is just getting very, very dry. So, all right, so I'm going to kind of move these up and out of the way. I'm going to unplug my laptop and let's see what we have here as far. Wow, I'm just like really like so crooked. Wow. Very, very crooked. All right. So let me see what we have here on our spreadsheet. So we have Froggy, Terry, Becky, Sharon, Debbie, Tracy, and Carol. I don't see Yvonne's name on here, so I'm thinking, Yvonne, you're wanting to sit this one out too. Thank you, Tracy. The cards were fairly easy to come, like I said, I cased them out of the catalog, and I just kind of did a little bit of changing up. Yeah, they didn't add Wink of Stella to it, but yeah, I felt that these cards needed a little bit of bling to them. Okay, so the other thing I have to do too, because I am part of Dina's Sending Sunshine and Rainbows group, that every Valentine's Day, you kind of do a Valentine's, it's not so much a swap, but uh, basically you sign up for it. Dina creates the list of all the names, and then she just sent the list out to us on the 4th. And so the whole idea is that whosever name is above yours, that's who you send a Valentine's Day card to. Now, you can send it to multiple people if you want to, but I'm pretty sure that I think I have a card from between tonight and what I did uh, last Saturday, that I have a card made. That's another thing I have to get out in the mail as well. All right, so I am going to take these names again: Froggy, Terry, Becky, Sharon, Debbie, Tracy, and Carol. And I'm going to add all of you to the wheel. And all right, and now let me go ahead, let me bring this in really quick. Let's get these out of the way, because those just shine right on there. Let me check one more time if there's anything else in the comments. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's spin. We've been at this for 2 hours and 17 minutes. True, who is it? True, oops, the moon. Tracy, you are our first winner. Which card? Yeah, Yvonne just doesn't want airmail. I don't know. I think she thinks that, I don't know. She just doesn't want she just doesn't want airmail. Okay, so Tracy, which one would you like? Number 2? Okay. Number 2 it is. Um, did Sharon join us tonight? Did I see her on here earlier? Oops, need to move that so I can. Oh, there she is. Okay. Yep, you're on there. Okay. Wow, I am really tired. I'm sorry, guys. It's like I don't even see that someone's name's right there in front of me. All right, so our second card, Carol. Which card would you like, Carol? Oops. Wow, this thing ain't behind, is it? Carol wants number 3. Okay. Okay, so then our final card, so card number 1, that is going to go to Sharon. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, so let me go back to our chat. Let me kind of get this out of the way, and let's kind of wrap things up. We've been here for a bit. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, but I also have a lot of things I still need to get done and try to get to bed early so I can get an early start tomorrow. So, again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me tonight. My plan will be next Friday as well at 6 p.m. I'm not seeing anything that may hinder me not being here Friday. Now, next Friday's project is not going to be Valentine's because I've pretty much used the two current products, sweets bundles, or whatever that Stampin' Up has. What am I using? I'm using Hobby Haven. So that is my laptop is still showing that I'm still spinning this wheel and it just landed on Carol. So yeah, there's definitely a delay in what I'm doing and what you guys are seeing. So yeah, I'm going to be using Hobby Haven next Friday. This is an online exclusive suite that came out. I think it was, ooh, do I want to say it was no, was it November or was it January? I don't even remember because they keep coming out with so much stuff. So that's what I'm going to feature next Friday. Um, and as far as Thursday goes, yeah, I got everything in the bin over here, but it's like I just kind of put stuff in there and so it's laying on it. So, yeah, there's going to be another Thursday coming up. Um, what do you call it? Paper Pumpkin. The last day to subscribe to the Celebrate Spring kit, which is that Easter themed kit that coordinates with that Easter suite in the January to April mini catalog. The last day to subscribe to that for that kit is February 10th. And then come the 11th, it will be the March, no, yeah, the March, no, the what? Okay, wait a minute. February 10th, that means, okay, it's go it's going to be the March kit. I can't keep track, guys. I'm sorry. So again, the last day for the February kit is going to be the 10th. If it's a kit that you're not interested in, you're subscribed, you can go out there. You can pause it for a month if you want. If it's something that you really, really, really like, you can always increase the quantity that you're receiving as well. Again, use up those bonus day coupons that you earned last month. The 28th of this month is the last day for it. And what else? New product of the month. And what is it? The If you want my newsletter, that link is in the description as well. If you click on that, just add your first and last name along with your email address, and I'll get that sent out to you. And I think that is it. So again, happy belated birthday to you, Froggy. Your card. I'm going to get that out in the mail tomorrow. I am going to be working on that tonight. It's going to be super, super duper cute. Um, and we don't have, I think our next birthday on the list is actually going to be Yvonne, and that's not going to be until April. And then shortly after that, it will be Miss Terry's birthday. So, um, gonna work on those cards as well. And again, thank you, all of you that have sent me a birthday card. I'm sure that there's going to be more coming in the coming days, so I will share those with you the next time we get together. So until then, everybody, wherever you may be, the way the weather is, stay warm, stay cool. But above all, please stay safe and everyone have a blessed one and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye.